Once upon a time, in a magical kingdom, there lived a kind and loving king and queen. They had everything they could ever want, but there was one thing missing from their lives: a child. They longed for a baby of their own to fill the grand castle with laughter and joy. One sunny morning, as the king and queen strolled through their magnificent gardens, a beautiful and rare flower caught the queen's eye. It was a radiant rose, glowing with a mesmerizing shade of pink. As she reached out to touch it, a fairy appeared, shimmering with a golden light.
"Your kindness and love for all living things have caught my attention,"
the fairy said with a warm smile.
"As a token of my gratitude, I grant you a special gift."
The queen was overjoyed and asked the fairy what the gift would be.
"I shall bless you with a child,"
the fairy announced.
"a child with a heart as pure as your own. She will bring happiness to your lives and to the entire kingdom."
The king and queen's hearts leaped with joy. True to the fairy's word, in time, they welcomed a baby girl into their lives. They named her Aurora because her laughter filled the castle with a warm and golden light. The king and queen hosted a grand celebration in honor of Aurora's birth. People from all around the kingdom came to see the beautiful baby princess. They brought gifts, sang songs, and danced in the castle's grand ballroom. It was a day filled with love and laughter. Among the guests was an old and bitter fairy who had not been invited to the celebration. She watched from the shadows, her heart consumed by jealousy and anger. When the time came for the other fairies to bestow gifts upon Aurora, the wicked fairy could not contain her spite.
"I curse this child,"
she hissed, raising her gnarled staff.
"On her 16th birthday, she shall prick her finger on a spinning wheel and fall into an eternal sleep."
The king and queen were devastated, but another kind fairy who had not yet given her gift stepped forward. She couldn't undo the curse, but she could soften it.
"I cannot break the curse,"
the good fairy said.
"but I can change its outcome. Instead of eternal sleep, Aurora shall fall into a deep slumber, and she will awaken when true love's kiss breaks the spell."
The king and queen were grateful for the good fairy's intervention and promised to do everything in their power to protect their beloved daughter. They ordered all spinning wheels in the kingdom to be destroyed and banned from the castle. Years passed, and Princess Aurora grew into a kind and gentle young woman. She had no knowledge of the curse that hung over her like a dark cloud. Her days were filled with laughter, music, and the joy of living in a kingdom that adored her. On the eve of her 16th birthday, Aurora's world was about to change. While exploring the castle, she stumbled upon a hidden room at the top of a tower. In the center of the room stood a beautifully carved spinning wheel, covered in dust and cobwebs. She had never seen such a thing before and was curious about it. As she reached out to touch the spindle, a prick from the sharp point sent a jolt of pain through her finger. With a soft gasp, she fell to the ground, her eyes closing as she slipped into a deep and enchanted sleep. The king and queen, who had been searching the castle for their daughter, rushed to the tower. They were heartbroken to find Aurora lying still, her face serene in slumber. They knew that the wicked fairy's curse had come true. The good fairy, who had bestowed her gift upon Aurora all those years ago, appeared before them. She assured the king and queen that their daughter was not lost forever and that true love's kiss would awaken her. Heartbroken, the king and queen carefully placed their sleeping beauty on a bed adorned with roses in the highest tower. They held on to the hope kindled by the prophecy's second half, waiting for a miracle to happen. The fairy, moved by their sorrow, cast a spell that lulled the entire kingdom into a deep sleep, to awaken only when the curse was broken. Years turned into decades, and the kingdom remained locked in its magical slumber, hidden from the rest of the world by a dense, impenetrable forest of thorns. Stories of the Sleeping Beauty transcended boundaries, eventually reaching a noble prince from a far-off kingdom. Moved by the tale of the cursed princess and yearning for true love, he decided to embark on a perilous journey to rescue Princess Aurora. The journey was fraught with dangers, the forest of thorns seemingly insurmountable. But the prince, armed with his unyielding determination and the hope of finding true love, pushed forward. Despite the challenges, he finally reached the Silent Castle, a sight that was both eerie and fascinating, a realm frozen in time. He discovered Aurora in the highest tower, resting peacefully on a bed of roses. Her serene beauty took his breath away, and a feeling of love, strong and undeniable, washed over him. Unable to resist this powerful emotion, the prince leaned down and gently kissed Princess Aurora. The moment their lips met, a warm and golden light filled the room. The curse was broken. Aurora stirred from her slumber, her eyes fluttering open.
Aurora, my love,
The prince whispered.
I have traveled far and wide to find you. True love has awakened you.
Aurora's eyes met the prince's, and a smile blossomed on her face. She had never seen a more handsome and kind-hearted man in her life. It was as if they had known each other for eternity. Aurora gazed at the prince and said,
"In your eyes, I find the love I've dreamt of all my life."
Aurora's awakening breathed life back into the kingdom. The king and queen wept with happiness, the townsfolk rejoiced, and even the fairies celebrated the revival of their beloved princess. To celebrate, the king and queen hosted a grand feast, inviting everyone in the kingdom. There was music, dancing, and merriment that lasted for days. The wicked fairy who had cursed Aurora watched from afar, her heart heavy with regret. Seeing the love and happiness that surrounded Aurora, the wicked fairy realized the error of her ways. She approached the king and queen, tears streaming down her face, said,
I am truly sorry for the pain I've caused, and I wish to make amends.
The queen, her voice filled with compassion, replied,
Your willingness to change touches our hearts, and we believe in second chances. Welcome back, dear fairy.
The kind-hearted rulers, touched by her remorse, forgave her and welcomed her back into the kingdom. From that day forward, the kingdom flourished with happiness and love. Aurora and the prince were wed in a grand ceremony, and their love story became legendary throughout the land. They ruled the kingdom with wisdom and compassion, ensuring that every subject was treated with kindness and fairness. And so, the story of Sleeping Beauty became a tale of love conquering all, a reminder that even the darkest curses can be overcome with the power of true love and forgiveness. The kingdom lived happily ever after, and the memory of Princess Aurora and her brave prince continued to inspire generations to come. The end.